can do something.
Oh, no, I didn't hear anything.
One across the street, they're sitting there. Get matched in the price. I'm not sure. I know what's going on. Yes. That's the one attractive. Subway, it's more money, but I don't
I don't either, so there would be a chance that.
my house. I'm neighbors on both.
Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all for attending the Edward Town Council meeting Monday, February 10th, 2025. We'll do a roll call. Mr. Bryan is not here today. Ms. Sweet,
Here.
Ms. Buck,
Here.
Ms. Rooks.
Here.
Also with us is Ms. Barrett, clerk treasurer, Mr. Myers, town manager, Justin Huddleston, town attorney. Minutes of council meeting January 27th, 2025, and executive meeting January 30th, 2025.
Do they have any questions?
I don't.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from Monday, January 27th, 2023, the regular town council meeting minutes, and the town council executive meeting of Thursday, January 30th, 2025 minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Claims, Ms. Barrett?
In your packets, you have received a claim document in the amount of $395,263.75. All claims have been reviewed and signed.
Any questions on claims?
No.
If there are no questions on the claim, I'll make a motion to approve the claim as submitted.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-1, amending salary ordinance 2024-26, second reading, Ms. Barrett.
Okay, this is the second reading of that ordinance, which amends the salary ordinance to include a holiday stipend for part-time firefighters. It updates the cemetery supervisor pay range, as that did not get updated originally. It's changing some terminology for the police department. We had changed it to officers. It should not have yet, so we're changing it back to marshal, deputy marshal, until that office is abolished, and then in March we'll change it back to officers again. And then just some clerical errors where the word "to" was left out.
Any questions, council?
She gave us all the information. Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Rhonda.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Okra planning grant closeout.
Okay, Kenna Consulting has started the closeout process for the $50,000 Okra grant that was received for our comprehensive plan. In your packet, you've received a copy of the monitoring form. That form needs, all funds have been received and distributed appropriately, so that form needs approved and need approval for Ryan to sign off on the form.
Everything looked to be in order.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys have any questions? Make a motion to approve the Okra planning grant closeout report as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve for Council President Piercefield to sign off on the Okra planning grant closeout.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Rhonda, seems like you're on a roll here. Let's do the Baker Tilly plus TIF plus financial management services.
Okay, this, and if you got, I'll do a brief presentation. If you've got questions, Scott is available for any questions you might have. But John and I met with Scott Craig and Heidi from Baker Tilly to discuss. It's a new option for financial services where it's billed as a yearly fee on a monthly basis rather than a current per project fee. It helps with budgeting so that you know what your annual cost is going to be up front. Within the presentation, they included a comprehensive financial plan, which gives a 5-year projection of tax dollars and how those could be budgeted for proposed capital improvements. They kind of describe it as a living document so that if any project came up, they could plug that amount in, change those figures to give you an idea of how it would affect tax dollars over the next 5 years. I really feel like that this would be a good thing to have, because I know there's some proposed tax rate changes that could hit us hard great for the citizen, but for us with our budgets, it could cause some heavy cuts in the near future. Currently, Baker Tilly assists with our annual financial reporting, our budget planning, utility financial reports, gateway TIF management, and some other stuff. In '24, the cost for those services were like $52,000. This proposal for '25, it includes a 5-year comprehensive financial plan for the town and for the redevelopment commission, semi-annual updates to the council, redevelopment commission kickoff meeting and annual TIF training, and a TIF spending plan. And the proposal is $7,200 a month, which is $86,000 for the year. Again, if you've got any questions, Scott's available. I think it could be a very beneficial tool in planning for capital projects and other improvements over the next 5 years.
And again, that's split between the electric, water, wastewater, and general fund, right?
Yes.
I have a question. Since we are anticipating maybe less taxes overall could be coming, is it wise for us to spend more per month for this?
That's a good question. This would be split, the utilities would be paying a portion of it, so the benefits of it, I think, would be good. The cost would offset the benefits of what this could help us with planning on how the tax dollars we receive and what it would be used for.
So currently though, we haven't had a need for it. It would have been nice, I know back several years ago when the property tax cap, it would have been nice to have had that, to know how that property tax cap was going to affect budgets, because it was really hard during that time. This just gives, they currently do like a 5-year plan for electric, water, and sewer.
Yeah.
This gives a 5-year plan on tax dollars.
So where did the $52,000 that we currently are paying, where did that come out?
It varies. Some of it was electric, water, sewer, some of it was general fund. It depends on what project was paid for.
Okay, it was per project.
So it's gonna be basically $35,000, $34,000 increase
Yes.
when we're already getting most of the services.
The biggest added cost would be that comprehensive financial plan. And I think, Scott, did you say that it is customizable?
Sure, so the proposal that was submitted to Rhonda and John, which was a couple weeks ago now, ideally we would like to tailor that to the needs of the town of Edinburgh. That increase, like you said, I think it's $34,000 from 2024 to 2025. Really, the main portion of that is the comprehensive financial plan. The comprehensive financial plan is a service that, if the town of Edinburgh were to come to us and ask for a comprehensive financial plan with the capital improvement plan that's included in this, it would be upwards of a $50,000 service that we would provide. The plan, and did you all receive copies of if you get a chance to review those, the comprehensive financial plan that you've seen this time versus the one that was passed out kind of the budget season last year. This one is a little more robust and more capital driven rather than just the previous one that we provided was more of a budget on steroids, if you will, kind of just a 5-year budget. Whereas as this one, we would come in, we would meet with all the department heads. We would say, what are your needs over the next 5 years? We would build those into this plan, and then kind of the first 5 or 6 pages of that, you'll see that capital improvement plan. And we would base those needs around what those needs are for each department and each fund. Really, the comprehensive financial plan is something that I would promote to any city and town, because I do think that it adds so much value for planning, for long-term planning down the road. As she said, it'll go out 5 years, sometimes we go 6. But it really gives you that long-term vision and that ability to see what changes. If you have a large purchase coming up, we can plug that purchase into the comprehensive financial plan, and it'll spit out, what that would do to you 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road.
So why do we need it now when we didn't need it when we did the substation, fire department?
I wouldn't say that it's not something that you didn't need at that time. Now, for the substation, that would have been included in your financial management report, which is still included in this. That's on the utility side. So financial management report is similar to the comprehensive financial plan, but it just covers the utility side, and it doesn't have quite the robustness of the comprehensive financial plan. The real need that's coming now for this comprehensive financial plan is the large tax changes that could be coming down the road this year, coming into 2026. With the new governor and some of the bills that have been suggested, there is a chance that the tax dollars that cities and towns and counties, they could drop significantly over the next, starting in 2026. So really what Baker Tilly and AIM is trying to do is kind of a replace donor race type proposal to the state. So we are working hard to make sure that this doesn't affect local governments too harshly. But what we can do in this comprehensive financial plan is kind of project what we think those losses are going to be and see how that will affect you, 2, 3, 4, up to 6 years down the road. So that's really, in my opinion, the big need for it at this time.
We can wait, making decisions till Mike's back, which I think would be best. I mean, it's a pretty big decision, so we can wait for full council. That'd be, Mary had suggested that.
Yeah, are
If
we,
there's any rush here.
yeah, are we on like a specific time frame, Scott?
No rush. Currently, at some point when we're starting to work on some of the other documents as we're getting to like April 15th tip report season, we'll have to have some sort of agreement in place, but we can get that agreement in place. So it's not urgent by any means. If the council would like, we do have a formal presentation that I presented to Mr. Myers and Ms. Bear that I would be happy to present. But yeah, there is no rush.
Yeah, I just mentioned that, I thought that Mr. Bryant should be here as well. So, I assume he'll be back next meeting or two, I assume.
Yes.
So, yeah,
And I did forget to mention, I think what Scott was touching on, we do have copies of 2 other cities that they have done the comprehensive plan for, that you can look at. I was gonna make copies, but it's kind of for internal use, so I hated to have copies of it floating around. So
Yes.
I do have those available for review, so you can see what he's talking about, the more laid out.
Yeah, so it was actually, one was a comprehensive financial plan, I believe that was Middlebury, and then we had one that was the semi-annual council reports. So in addition to that, twice a year, we would come in and, look at all the financials of the town and present that to the council as well. We can make, and Rhonda, feel free to make copies so they can review them. They are internal documents though, so just please don't disperse them.
so what the department heads, when they're trying to develop their work on the next year's budget, then do they work with both you and Scott, or just one-on-one? How's that?
We would come down, we have, in the presentation that you can also provide to them as well, and I can also provide, it lays out when we would have virtual meetings, in-person meetings, so we have time that we would come in, we would have in-person meetings, meet with all the department heads. Usually it would be a day we would come in, schedule to meet with each one of them for 30 minutes, whatever it happens to take. And Rhonda would be a part of those as well if she would like to, but it's kind of a data gathering, and then we take all of that back and create the capital improvement plan.
Thank you, Scott.
Any questions for Scott? All right, 203 South Walnut Street, Mr. Huddleston.
Thank you, Councilman, Mr. President. I think this one we're gonna table. Any action items on it? The only update was, the, lease with the, or their tenant, which is Brian, is going down a month to month. They had an initial term, so it's shifted over that month to month, so that's what the update was. Just let you know, same rental rate, it just goes from month to month.
Any questions for Dustin?
Nope.
Mr. Meyer, 712 South Eisenhower lease renewal.
Thank you, Mr. President. We discussed this a little bit last month on the property down by the cemetery at 712 South Eisenhower. Trying to determine how we want to proceed with this lease agreement. It has an end of life or termination date. It doesn't roll over to a 3-year or anything like that, or year to year. Mr. Huddleston says that there's exceptions to the rules, that we could find possibility where we'd have to go out and get appraisal again and do bids.
I personally called and checked, had Mary and Rhonda both work together to see if there have been any like major increases or anything there at the property as far as any type of improvements or anything that insurance wise or anything that we incurred any cost. And from what they sent me, it was nothing of any substantial increase. So part of the monies that was spent was even prior to them moving in there. It was for like, I think it said appliances and things of that nature. So if, whatever the rest of the council feels, if we need to have it reviewed and reference a reappraisal, I'm fine with that. If we need to just go on and release it, how's that gonna work, Dustin?
I would draft a new lease agreement, you, approve
same
at the next
parameters.
council meeting, same parameters, I can do a 1-year term again. Same lease agreement, or same term.
And you said that they were wanting to stay there.
Could we rewrite this one where it has the, so we're not back into this again, where it has the ability for them to renew another year if they would like to, instead of having a dead chop where we're back into this? This has been on for just a couple of meetings now, I think.
Yeah, I could put a provision where it would go month to month after the year term. I think you need some kind of out in case you guys want to sell the property.
I agree.
Release it to somebody else, so I can do that.
Make a motion for that.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Prepare and have it at the next meeting.
Okay. All right, John, cemetery superintendent position.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to appoint a cemetery superintendent and an assistant superintendent. And I'd like to promote Stan Brown to the cemetery superintendent position with your blessing. And I would like also to appoint Kyle Pendleton to the assistant superintendent of the cemetery with your blessing.
Do you need a motion for that?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions?
I don't,
Make a motion to, for Mr. Myers to promote Stan Brown as cemetery superintendent.
second,
All in favor?
aye,
And then I'll make a motion for, Mr. Myers to promote Kyle Pendleton to cemetery assistant superintendent.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Covered that one. All right, the 2024-2 CCMG paving project bid award, Mr. Myers.
You have a recommendation from Crossroads Engineering to award the 2024-02 paving project to Robertson Paving. We received 4 sealed bids, and they were opened last week with Robertson coming in with the lowest bid. Crossroads reviewed everything, and the recommendation is to award the project to Robertson upon attorney's review.
John, can you just touch briefly for the public on some of the roads and streets that'll be affected by this
I
project?
didn't bring it up. What was it? The rebuilding in Naomi Street, sorry, Naomi Street,
Oh, okay.
be a total rebuild. Main Cross downtown to the tracks. Lynn Drive, I believe, is on there.
Let's see if I can find you now.
I didn't bring all of this. Oh, yeah, here.
I just thought if you touched on some of them, that way they would know what part of them was.
Yes, I had someone ask me the other day about main cross downtown, so that's
Yes.
what we.
That's on there.
Mr. Cox, do you know which ones they are?
We were just discussing that. As far as I know, that's.
There's quite a few.
Lynn Drive is fairly involved, I think. It was-
Yes.
it'll take quite a
Yeah,
bit.
that's gonna take some.
This is Naomi Street reconstruction and, what does it say? I meant to print this today, I forgot.
We're doing something on Main Street too.
Is it listed here?
Pass it at the beginning.
Is that the?
Council, if you approve, you want to make it subject to legal review and legal and contract. That's on the street list. Per the bid, I'll draft an agreement for Robertson, send it to them, once they approve it, put it back for you guys to.
Great, yeah, then, down road work. They don't have to come back in a year.
You guys have any questions? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the 2024-2 CCMG paving project bid award to Robertson Paving Inc. In the amount of $1,006,133.75, subject to council's legal review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I just found the list if you want to know.
Yeah.
Sorry. Lynn Drive from 252 to East Main Cross, Main Cross Street from Pleasant to the railroad tracks, Center Park from the start to the dead end, Breeding Street from Pleasant to Eisenhower, County Line Road from Duncan to County Road 170 West, Independence Drive from Constitution to the Cart Crossing past Senate, Keeley Street from Hogum to Breeding, Naomi Street from Walnut to the railroad tracks, Naomi Street railroad tracks to Kyle, and then some concrete street patching on Glasgow, Harrell, and Cambridge Lake.
Fantastic.
I forgot about part of that Timbergate bid in there too. So,
Don't forget about the concrete.
okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right, the bulletproof vest purchase, Chief Little.
Yes, Council, I've kind of talked to you guys a little bit about this. It's a requirement every 5 years by state statute to replace the bulletproof vest for the officers. Kelsey, Deputy Chief Kelsey and Enri's went out and got some bids for these. The lowest is a company that is a newer company. The guy that's one of their sales guys is a cop, so I kind of got to trust him a little bit. I don't know a whole lot about him, but they came in with the lowest bid for $18,867. That is replacing all officers' vests at the same time. Because we found that some of the reserves vests are going to be expiring within 6 months, 8 months. So it just made more sense. Let's just do it all now. This is for not only the ballistic panels that are for the inside, but they're also for the carriers that the guys have. Because each company or each manufacturer's vests are manufactured to fit that carrier, if that makes sense. So we couldn't have them come and get a carrier and then try to manufacture it. It doesn't work that way. So this is for the carrier and the vest, and it will outfit the guys. We have until around October to get these in. So we're not on a real bad time crunch, but we need to get it done because if the past shows up again, it usually takes, they say we'll get it in 6 to 8 weeks, I'd say probably 3 or 4 months.
Had you already budgeted for these, Chief?
I do have it in my capital outlay, or we can use the public safety fund, either or, but I do have $40K, I think, in my capital outlay. We'll just go off the rest of the projects, since this is more important than any of them.
And you wanted this Angel armor?
Angel armor, because they're gonna give us a class better vest. So we are currently wearing 2A vests, these are class 3s. And so for the price of the rest of the 2As for the other companies, we can't touch that, so. And it's a scary time for law enforcement, so you're gonna have that better coverage.
What do you do with the replacement vest? You just hitch them on?
So anything that is expired, we will use for like our active shooters. So because they're still shooting those paintballs, so you want some protection, so we utilize them for that until they're just not usable anymore. And then last year, the sheriff's department took a bunch of our vests and their vests, and they have a company way up in northern Ohio that basically remanufactures, takes them all apart and disposes of them that way. If they're so bad here that, then we take them to the compactor and make sure that they get shredded up. But we do try to use them for something else.
Any questions? I make a motion to approve Chief Lowe's request for the new vest purchase from the Angel Armor Company for $18,867 for the 18 vest.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. All right, Stephen, annual substation testing.
In your packet, there was 3 quotes. Elf Engineering drafted up the specifications so that they're all bidding the same thing. This is something that's been done since that substation was built back in 06, 08, whenever it was. So it's preventive maintenance. They go through, sectionalize, shut line, test everything in there. Make sure we're not having some trace issue down the road. So it's something that's been done and should probably carry on just to make sure we don't have problems.
Do you budget for this every year too, sir? Because you have to, I think you told us in here somewhere where you had to, no, wait. I'm sorry, that was for the polls, I'm sorry. But did you have this budgeted for?
It's one of our annual costs. I mean, it's part of the
So
big
you're just
utility
gonna
fund.
have it every year, okay,
Yes.
so that's the answer.
Of the 3 quotes, Test is one of them, and they have done it for 15 years or so, other than maybe 1 year. Kevin tried somebody else, and it didn't work out very well. Test was also the cheapest, so it's 2 for 1 on that one.
Okay.
If we ever have an emergency situation, that's who we will call anyway. They're very familiar with our substation.
So any other questions for Stephen?
I have no questions. I'll make a motion to approve the annual substation testing to be, to be done by Test, Total Electrical Systems Testing. The amount of $55,300.
It would be the total without the scissor lift, because one of them asked the question, so we were asked all the alternates. Never used one in the past, don't know why we would need one.
Okay, so in the amount of, I don't have a calculator.
He said, did you say to take that?
Yeah, it'd be like 52 and change, I think.
For up to $53,000.
There you go.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the spare switchgear, Stephen.
So we are currently going through 252 and burying all that project. And there are several sections of switchgear that are within 30 feet of the edge of 252. And those are the big green boxes, are about an 8x8 box, not the transformers, the bigger boxes. If somebody runs one of those over, that's the main circuit that goes down through there, we got a problem. We do not have a spare for that. So kind of thinking down the road, I would like to have a spare unit on hand in case we have a problem. Especially if you look at that quote, they're 52 to 54 weeks out. So if we wait until we have a problem, we've got a bigger problem.
So So we could potentially recoup that in the future if it is damaged. by
Yeah, it would be an
insurance.
insurance deal, but this is a cheaper insurance policy for us, so we can get it back on. There's two different types of switchgear that are out there. One is a PSE 9 and one's a 13. They're slightly different on the internals. We have two of the 13s, but they're kind of varied. One of them's in the alley between Main and Pleasant, way back off the road. I don't think that was run by a car. The other one is at the, over by the, on the other side of Eisenhower, by the little park that we own, way off the road. Those two I don't think will get hit, so I would just like to buy one of the PSE 9s that we could still put in that place and make it work until we get the other one in. So instead of ordering both of them for almost $60,000, I would order the cheaper one that's on there, the 29 and change.
Is that an escalation price where if it takes that time, will they, or is that a locked price?
They'll hold that price.
Okay.
So he just needs this one.
Yeah, they quoted me both of them, but I would only order one.
Just,
29.
And you said it took a while to get them in, sorry.
20, or what's it saying, 52 to 56
That's what I was trying
weeks.
to find.
Yeah, I don't see it on there.
They typically put it right below the price. I don't have a copy of it, it is 50-some weeks.
Well, regardless, we'll say.
Yeah, regardless of.
And then it's not listed on here, but that's okay. It is very sneaky. Okay.
Any questions? No. And it's for this, it's to this Brownstown.
Yes.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the purchase of the spare switchgear from the Brownstown Electric Supply for the $29,906.85.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
All right, we'll go some other business. Sherry, do you have anything? Ms. Buckley, anything?
No.
Ms. Roots?
Congratulations, Stan and Kyle. You guys will do a good job, so appreciate all your hard work out there.
thank you for working, appreciate you too.
Kind of echo that. I think we're all thinking it. She just said it. So don't feel like we were all neglected if she just said it.
I'm
Appreciate
sitting back here
it.
very nervous if that makes you feel any better.
No, you're fantastic. I thought Kyle was back there holding your hand, make sure.
So he couldn't.
I don't have anything. John, do you have anything else?
I'd like to get permission to have Attorney Huddleston to reach out to Johnson County RMC for the territory of Castle Rock to see if we can get some kind of communication going, maybe square that territory up.
Yeah, I think kind of piggyback on that too. I think we let Dustin also reach out to their legal team as well. So you start the conversation and then I think we go ahead and get Dustin the authority to, when that time comes, that way we're already ahead of it. We're not waiting to give him that. You good with that?
On REMC?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I don't know how to say that, but we'll summarize it that way. So if you guys want to.
So
make a motion to
moved.
that.
Second.
Ah, bingo. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Anything else, John?
No, sir, thank you.
That was easy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
All right. Rhonda?
No, I'm good.
Justin? Nope. Chief Little?
No, thanks for the best. We really appreciate that. And just an update, we got that grant for the radios, which is like $20,000. We're still waiting on the feds to release that money to the state so we can get those radio purchases. I'll keep you updated why you haven't seen me come forward for that. But as soon as it does, then we'll come in and we'll buy the radios and get reimbursed for them. So that's it.
Thank you. Nothing? Nothing. All right. Stephen, anything else?
I do have one thing, just kind of as a food for thought. Had one of our large customers reach out to us, and they've been back and forth in conversations with myself and IMPA. They're wanting to purchase green power credits, which is a whole nother conversation what they are, but in conversations with IMPA, they've sent me a template of